Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. I realized today that it's been exactly a month since I posted my last video, and that's just entirely too long, but it's just been a while since I've gotten really anything to make a video on, I guess. But I've kind of pulled together a few random things that I've gotten over the last month, so it's kind of going to be a conglomeration of everything. So let's get started with some cassettes that I got. Our city was having a citywide garage sale, so there's a lot of garage sales going on. And one sale that I went to in particular, I kind of went over and I noticed they had some CDs and things over there. And then on the ground, they had a couple cases of cassettes. And the first thing that caught my eye from a distance, I saw 2 red and 2 blue cassettes. So I pretty much knew what those were as I went over there. So I decided to pick these up. It's the Beatles 62 to 66, and then the 67 to 70 cassettes. The blue ones are ones that I had growing up, but somewhere along the line, my second cassette got eaten by a cassette player, so I only had one of those, and I never actually did have the red ones on cassette. So it was nice to pick these up. And the cassettes, they were only asking 10 cents a piece, so I mean 40 cents for this is not too bad. So they had a lot more cassettes sitting there, so I decided to go through and see what they all had. I also picked up, this is one I had growing up too, I listened to quite a bit. It's REM's Out of Time. It's got, Losing My Religion and Shiny Happy People, kind of some popular songs of theirs that I really liked. And as CDs became popular, I just kind of got rid of all my cassettes. And so it's kind of nice to get some of these back in my collection. Along with this one here, it's the Beach Boys' Endless Summer. I know I used to play this one a lot growing up. I used to bring this in the car when we went on road trips and stuff. It was a really cool CD. And then they also had the Mamas and Papas 20 Golden Hits. And I know my mom has the vinyl of this. It's the Bee Gees' Greatest. She hasn't let me have that one yet, so I got this one on cassette. And then I went through it a couple times, and then the first time I went through all the cassettes, I missed this one, but I found it here. The second time is London Town, Wings. This is kind of a really light blue cassette. It's kind of cool. I've never seen one that color. It's kind of not coming across on the camera, of course, but and then on the inside they got kind of what the poster that came with the vinyl was, that picture. That was kind of cool. And then the last one, it's not in the greatest shape. They put it in a plastic case like this, only because this is a John Lennon cassette single. It should just be in this cardboard sleeve, but the back is ripped off of it. But it's the single for Nobody Told Me and Steppin' Out. You can see there. So there's that. That was kind of cool. All right, and then one of my earlier, This Just In videos, you remember I picked up the Paul McCartney's Hey Grandude book, which is a really nice children's book that he wrote, and I know at least my kids enjoyed when I read it to them. And I saw that over in the UK that it seems to be the only place that you can pick up the audiobook for that, but I was able to find it online for a really cheap price, so I picked up the CD. As it says here, it's written and read by Paul McCartney, so that's cool. And it's nice, it's got, he reads the story, and it's got kind of some sound effects, and there is just a little bit of, one of the sections in the story, he plays the guitar just a little bit. So I guess you could consider that some new Paul McCartney music. And I think it's maybe the last 30 seconds or so, Paul's reading the credits for the book and everything, and there's some guitar music playing in the background that I'm pretty sure that he played on that, so So there's that. And I'm kind of going through this in chronological order of when I picked these things up. And I'm trying to think, the next thing I think is, must have been 2 or 3 weeks ago now. The place that I work, every so often they'll offer up some concert tickets to kind of show their appreciation to their employees. And you can enter your name in a raffle or whatever, put your name in the hat. And luckily I was drawn for the free concert to go to, and it happened to be the Dave Matthews Band. Now, I'm not really familiar with Dave's stuff. And I know some of his hits and stuff that have been on the radio and things, and I really enjoy them. But we went to the concert, and it was a really good time. He put on a really good show. It was just not what I expected, but it was way better than I expected, actually. And I usually pick up concert t-shirts whenever I go to a concert, so I decided to pick up this one here. That was the coolest looking one, I guess, that they had. They didn't really have too many to choose from. And then one thing, he did have an opening act, and it was a woman by the name of Grace Potter. Now, this is someone I'd never heard of before this concert, and I really enjoyed her music. I really liked that. And after the concert, the next days or so, I decided to try and check out some of her music. And it turns out that just this past Friday, she released a brand new album. And since I liked what I heard at the concert, I decided to pick up the new album. I got it on CD here. And if you've never heard of her or her music, you definitely want to check this out. It's really good. I've really been enjoying this CD. It's kind of got kind of a Sheryl Crow type vibe to her, I guess. And I did end up ordering the vinyl, but I was able to get the CD at a record store a little sooner than the vinyl, but I did get the vinyl of it as well. That's basically the same as the CD. It's got a lyric sheet here. And then here's the sleeve. And then there's the record. So yeah, I definitely recommend her to you. I haven't heard any of her other albums. I think she's maybe only got 2 other albums, if I'm not mistaken. But I know this one for sure is a really good one if you want to check out some new music. Let's see, what else? I was going through my Amazon wish list. Every so often I'll go through there and see if the prices have dropped on anything that I have added there. And this is an item that I had on my wish list for maybe a year, 2 years, and I've just never actually got it, but I saw the price was pretty cheap on it, so I decided to get it. There was only one left in stock, so I grabbed it quick. It's the movie Wonderwall. As you probably all know, the music for this film is by George Harrison. This is a 1968 film, I believe. Yes. And this Blu-ray is actually a 2014 reissue from Shout Factory. So it's kind of a special edition. They got some bonus features here. Shows here that there's a Eric Clapton special feature, and it says John Lennon poem. I'm not sure what that is for sure. It's another music video, some outtakes, and the story of Wonderwall. There's just a lot of different things there. I'll let you, that'll focus, you can read that for yourself. And this is the Blu-ray here. And it actually comes with this 31-page booklet inside, which is really nice. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but I have not seen this film before. I've just seen a couple short clips here and there of it. And I know the album, the soundtrack that George Harrison put out for this, it's pretty much just all instrumental, a lot of Indian music, things like that, but it's rather enjoying if you like that kind of incidental music like that. There's several different things about, you know, George Harrison and Beatles in this booklet as well, which is kind of nice. I haven't had a chance to read through everything in here, but I don't know if they've been restocked on Amazon or not, but when I bought this one, it said it was the last one, and it was like $10 or something like that, so I thought it was a really good deal for that. So I picked that up. All right, where do I go next? Let's see. So yeah, last Friday was new release Friday for, you know, albums and things like that. And of course, as the shirt here, I got Ringo Starr. I decided to pick up Ringo's What's My Name album. I had ordered the colored vinyl, and it wasn't shipped until like last Friday or something, so it was going to take a while to get here. But I wanted to hear the album myself in full. I've heard a couple songs off of it from the internet, but I wanted to get the whole thing, so I decided to pick up the CD. Plus, being a Beatles collector, why not just get the CD anyway, just to have. So there's the CD there. And then there's no lyrics included in here. It's just track by track. It's got who plays what on each track there. And if you've probably heard already, the "Grow Old With Me," that's the John Lennon song that him and Paul McCartney plays on it as well, and Joe Walsh, of course, his brother-in-law. Nice picture of Ringo there. I've listened to it a couple times, and overall I think it's a pretty good album. I'm not really familiar with a lot of Ringo's solo material, but I know this is a pretty strong album. I know for sure Time Takes Time is one that I've really enjoyed in recent years. Last year's Give More Love is a really good album, and this is right up there with those. I mean, it's really good. The one thing about the one song on here, Money, it's a remake of, you know, Money. You've all heard that song over the years. There's a lot of heavy auto-tune on that one, which is not my favorite type of thing, but it's not a terrible track, you know. It's a good song, but could do without the auto-tune. So it just so happened that today I got a package in the mail from who else? Ringo Starr. He sent me a package. Can you believe it? So we'll see what he sent me here. I have a pretty good idea. All right. And it is the vinyl version of his new album, What's My Name? Show you the sticker there. You gotta love the autofocus on these phones that doesn't autofocus. Alright. And wouldn't you know it, I left my shrink wrap cutting device on the other table, so I'll be right back. Okay, let's get this thing open, see what it looks like. There we go. No download card, which is good that I bought the CD. So here we have on the sleeve, we got the same as the CD, we got the track listing there with all the different credits who played on the album. And here we have a nice picture of Ringo. And one thing that's very disappointing, I definitely clicked to order the colored vinyl. And what did they send me? They sent me black vinyl. So that's disappointing. So somebody's going to be getting an email and figure out what's going on there. I made sure to specifically choose colored vinyl. I mean, the black vinyl I could have got anywhere. So hopefully I can get that sorted out, and if I do end up picking it up, I'll show you on another video. Now Tuesday, today is Wednesday, so yesterday I happened to be going past a Barnes & Noble bookstore, and I was listening to Sirius XM, and I noted I was listening to Breakfast with the Beatles, and Chris Carter had Peter Asher on there as a guest talking about his new book, and he mentioned that it was being released that day, so I decided to go to Barnes & Noble and pick it up. This is Peter Asher's book, The Beatles from A to Z. For those of you in America, Z is how they say Z in the UK. If you happen to listen to Peter Asher's show on Sirius XM, I think he's done it a couple times now, where he does a 26 episode series on the Beatles from A to Z. You know, each thing is each episode is a certain letter of the alphabet and how it correlates to a Beatles song or something to do with the Beatles. There's a lot of pictures and things throughout the book. And I've listened to the episodes before, and they're very interesting. There's a lot of good information in here. It's pretty cool. So be sure and check that out if that's something you're interested in. I'm sure it'll be a really good read. And then one thing else, I figured as long as I'm in Barnes & Noble, why not go through the records section? And I've seen this there before, and I kind of passed on it. But the price was pretty reasonable for it. It's a 2 LP set. And speaking of Sheryl Crow earlier, I got this album here. It's Sheryl Crow Threads. She does collaborations on songs with several different artists. Each of the songs on the album is with someone different. And we'll take the shrink wrap off and I'll show you this a little better. It is a gatefold, so I'm just going to take the shrink wrap all the way off. So we'll see if we can focus. I can show you all the different tracks on here. The one I'm most interested to hear is let's see right there, Beware of Darkness is a George Harrison song, and she does it with Eric Clapton, Sting, and who else? Brandi Carlile. So I'm curious to hear that. So yeah, there's that. No, it's a double. Let's see how I can do this. Double gatefold. I just got the paper sleeves here. So there's the first record. And we'll see what the second record, I'm sure it looks just the same. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be the same thing. But there is this, let's see, looks like she's writing a little essay thing about each song there. So yeah, I definitely like Sheryl Crow, so this is going to be a really interesting listen. So there you have it. So that's pretty much all I have for this video. There was one other thing I was going to show you, but I'm saving that for Friday, so we'll have to wait a couple days to see that. It has to do with a special release coming out by Bob Dylan, and I should be getting that Friday, so stay tuned for that video, and I will see you guys then. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.